In a heartbeat, Juki reveals her hidden weapon, flipping gracefully while hurling daggers straight into the tree trunk, sending Hitoyoshi reeling in terror. This one's a demon, not a human, he thinks, shaking. She seems deeply passionate about her work, beaming with joy in her performance. Normally, an assassination would end in one swift strike, but here, she's showing off for him, leaving him trembling with mixed awe and fear. If he says the wrong thing, she might strike. Hitoyoshi has no enemies, so he doesn't need her assassin skills. Besides, he doesn't even know who her boss is, so hiring her is impossible. Juki looks a bit sad but accepts it. What else can she do? Though she's an assassin, she's quite polite, bidding him farewell before leaving, making him feel a twinge of guilt for the poor girl lost in her thoughts. Wandering aimlessly, Juki suddenly hears Hitoyoshi calling. He's returning the hair clip she dropped, but in his rush, he crashes into a car. With lightning reflexes, Juki leaps to save him. They're unharmed, but her face shows deep worry and care for him, touching his heart. It's her first time saving someone directly, making her pulse quicken in ways she can't explain. Hitoyoshi hands back the hair clip and sees her off, but seconds later, he changes his mind. Needing help with chores, he asks if she can clean. Soon, they're back at his place, discussing her weapon collection. The spear, he learns, is humanity's first tool, simple to use but deadly effective, capable of ending lives in one blow. Hitoyoshi realizes inviting an assassin to live with him was foolish. He clarifies she'll just handle cleaning now. Juki, the quirky maid, thinks it's a code for killing and panics, but he explains it's just housework. Pointing to the big bags, she mistakes them for body storage, but he assures her she's not a threat since she saved him. Though risky, Hitoyoshi sees her as good-hearted. The innocent Juki asks if doing chores well means she can stay. She's clumsy, never handling anything but weapons, and feels useless, apologizing in fear of being sent away. He gives her a chance, and despite her failures, her assassin skills shine, slipping but never falling. Hitoyoshi comforts her sadness, wiping her face gently. It's a first for an assassin like her, earning his affection. He promises to help her improve, and together, they clean the guest room. Grateful, he thanks the beautiful Juki, filling her with joy as they share this warm moment. At mealtime, he asks if the maid sister knows how to cook. Her sad puppy eyes say no. He sends her to bathe while he figures it out. In the bath, Juki reflects on his kindness, amazed by such a good-hearted person. Outside, Hitoyoshi waits, hoping to see her in a stunning form, but she emerges in her usual outfit. Juki handles the vegetables expertly. No one wields a knife like her. She tosses cabbage into the air and slices it perfectly with one breath, thrilled at completing her cabbage hunt. They prepare instant miso soup and quick snacks, no time for elaborate cooking. Hitoyoshi, not much of a cook himself, asks if she's tried tonkatsu. She hasn't. As a top assassin, she only cares about her missions, viewing food as mere fuel. To her, taste and presentation mean nothing. Hitoyoshi promotes tonkatsu, saying it could change her world. It's from a 60-year-old shop, the pride of the neighborhood, with affordable, delicious dishes. The shop offers various meals that are both tasty and cheap, explaining his hidden food stash. Juki, innocently oblivious, offers him the whole portion, but he divides it so they can share like family, enjoying tonkatsu with rice and miso soup together. Juki tastes it and feels nothing special. The meat, rice, and soup lack flavor. Her assassin life has dulled her senses. Remembering past meals, she senses a difference. This food, made by Hitoyoshi, feels warmer than ever, so she lies that it's good to see him smile. His joy is a mysterious power to her, warmer than baths or meals. Hitoyoshi arranges for the supermaid to stay upstairs, changing sheets and pillows for comfort, though she doesn't need them. She's content with just a place to stay, grateful for his efforts. Guiding her, he helps her rediscover flavors with the special sauce. Miraculously, her taste buds awaken, overwhelmed by the deliciousness, stirring emotions she can't describe and igniting a spark in her heart. As night falls, Hitoyoshi cries from nightmares, haunted by the past. Checking the clock at 3 a.m., hunger strikes, so he heads to the kitchen for instant noodles, only to hear strange sounds and think of Juki. He recalls the assassin maid and fears trouble, peeking in. Juki, in white pajamas, looks like a ghostly beauty but charming up close. She's sneaking sauce, savoring it, then apologizes, thinking it's precious. He doesn't scold her, feeling relieved she's just hungry like him. Offering to make noodles for both, she shares a deep wish if she dies. She'd want to taste that sauce one last time, inspiring him to create a midnight feast. Dipping various foods in the sauce, Juki delights in it. She asks about his nightmares, having heard his cries while sneaking food, knife ready for threats, but finding only his tears. Embarrassed, Hitoyoshi admits his weakness. Juki adds that he called for his mother in his sleep. She shares her dream of talking to a giant sauce bottle, wishing to lick it forever, but waking up shatters it. He listens, speechless. Her dreams were once bloody, but this is her best craving, that sauce. Hearing his story of abandonment, she offers her lap, but he declines, saying he's too old. She reflects on her violent past, feeling the weight of isolation. Fallen before, whenever having nightmares, she let him rest on her lap. Hearing that, he invites her, but she refuses, saying that's for kids. She's grown now and it's improper. The maid thinks negatively, that she's born only to kill. Just as she's breaking, Hitoyoshi lies down, boosting her spirits already addicted. Why be shy? Juki calls his name and pulls him closer. Into sleep, or perhaps not, for how can one rest with such excitement? After a few days together, Juki keeps thinking about saving her master, her heart pounding like it's about to burst, blood rushing as never before. Even facing dozens of enemies didn't thrill her like this. Her body moved on instinct. What is it about Hitoyoshi that captivates her so? Back home, they think it's a small breed, but as it eats, it grows bigger, so they can't keep it. Since Hitoyoshi's family seems wealthy, they leave it here. Hearing this, he's furious at their attitude. What if we can't raise it? Poor dog. Seeing its funny face, he picks it up and asks if they should keep it. Of course, how can they abandon it? Maybe a new owner will come along. Inside, he finds the puppy intriguing, round and well-behaved, quite cute. He wants to share this with the maid, but she's far away and refuses, so he brings it over. Discovering her assassin background makes her. Reading the note, they realize the previous owner thought it was a small breed that grew too big. Since Hitoyoshi's family seems rich, they left it. He boils with anger at their tone. What if we can't raise it? The dog's face is hilarious. He picks it up, asking if they should keep it. Of course, we can't just leave it. Maybe a new home will appear. The maid also reads the letter, saying, that puppy in the sweltering heat. From experience, Hitoyoshi sees it's just big but still very young, unlikely to survive a few days. Juki thinks differently. Even if immature, it can endure, as she proves she was abandoned as a child, no different from an animal. This is survival instinct, and saving a life out of pity can sometimes lead to tragedy. That puppy was left because, abandoned to a fate of solitude, an existence no one desires, and without forging strength from within, it will inevitably fall in the wild. Hitoyoshi, if pity leads you to save that life recklessly, the burden will haunt you later. Can you bear the consequences? He can't grasp the deep wisdom in Juki's words. Things she's endured, but comparing to a dog is different. As someone abandoned, Hitoyoshi understands the puppy's feelings, so he'll take it in for a few days. Who knows, a new owner might come. Inside, he finds it fascinating, round and obedient, very cute. Sharing with the maid, he sees her keeping distance, refusing because of her retired assassin instincts. A retired assassin's instincts. Hitoyoshi, also abandoned, feels for the dog, so he'll take it in temporarily. Who knows, a new owner might appear. Inside, he finds it amusing, round and good. Sharing with the maid, he sees her distance, refusing due to her past. But she's afraid of dogs. It's ironic. This confuses her, as admitting fear is embarrassing for an assassin. She admits she's a bit scared to save face. Seeing her expression, it's cuter than the clueless dog. Hitoyoshi curiously asks why she's so afraid, and she recalls her teacher abandoning her on a mountain with fierce wolves as a child, resulting in. Psychologically, Mom understands Hitoyoshi's thoughts, but raising it here is tough. Hearing this, she's deeply sad, as she's hard to raise too, not much different from the dog. So, she apologizes, saying the puppy deserves a real home to avoid loneliness. Thus, in the coming days, though she's afraid, Hitoyoshi asks her to help with. She endures a bit and understands Hitoyoshi's intentions, agreeing to hold the puppy and see if it's okay. The result leaves Hitoyoshi speechless. It terrifies her boss. He assures her it's gentle and won't bite. No sooner said, it chomps his hand, making Juki jump in fright, feeling like she's on the brink. In Hitoyoshi's eyes, this puppy is like a puffy mochi when baked. Hearing that, the maid. To her, it's a fierce beast. To him, a fluffy mochi. She nearly throws it away, but he stops her, apologizing for the mishap. To the vet for a checkup and supplies to raise it properly. Inside, everyone stares at the beautiful maid, while the dog clowns around. She helps pick quality items, making the puppy shake. By evening, it's wobbling along. Hitoyoshi thanks her for trying, and in return, she sees his kindness as failure doesn't exist in the assassin world she came from. So, when treated kindly, she feels a great distance between them. Before Juki, she just followed orders, but what Hitoyoshi wants, she's never done, leading to many failures. Yet, he never blames her, making her. Burdening her heart with the need to be useful to Hitoyoshi to deserve existence. In her harsh world, it's like a game where only the strong survive, regardless of gender or age, as long as you have skills. Those like her endured unimaginable trials, but living with him is different. Despite restrictions, he never scolds her. If she were like that puppy, saved as a child, she might feel this warmth and become what he wishes. She wonders if she can stay here and if this human world needs someone like her. Restricted by many things, yet Hitoyoshi never scolds her. If she were like the puppy, saved young, she might feel this warmth and become what he wants. Wondering if she can stay and if this world needs her, he's about to answer when the dog pulls him away, clumsy but strong, that pup. Hitoyoshi joyfully responds about the maid wanting to leave her old life for normalcy. That's wonderful. She's never thought of it before, as killing was her only value, but he says she can abandon it all to live like everyone else. She secretly wishes for another place for herself and wants to learn more about Hitoyoshi. Hitoyoshi more. He admits he was scared of her at first, as who isn't with a real assassin, but living together he sees her kindness. This reminds her of her innocent childhood before losing everything. She wants him to teach her to be normal, as that's the easiest way. Her presence is. Failures in her work are normal for anyone, so no need to feel ashamed after a few tries. The next day, while the dog lounges coolly under the air conditioner, Juki learns to chop vegetables like a regular person. With her expert knife skills, slicing in rhythm isn't hard, just focus. Suddenly, the dog pops out, startling her. Startled and in disbelief that a killer like her was approached from behind. So, she thinks this dog is no ordinary one. Looking closer, it's shaking, not from fear, but hunger. Somehow, Juki understands its emotions. This must be a survival skill. Seeing the creature seems gentle, she considers petting it, but just then Hitoyoshi arrives, so she stops. He sees his sister. The maid feeds the dog, and he's happy. It gobbles everything. No wonder it's round, probably why it was abandoned. He names it Mochi. Knowing she's mastered chopping, he praises her, making her beam. For other tasks, he asks her help, saying, "Play with Mochi to help her live normally." Hitoyoshi confirms it's gentle, so no issues. Still, to her, it's fierce, but not fully overcoming her fear. If it's his word, she'll do it. He advises not to force it and trusts her. Feeling empowered, So, she pets the clueless dog, and it loves it better than her brother's touch. Juki warms to Mochi. It's small and warm, like Hitoyoshi said. Understanding each other reveals the good side. To reward the cute maid, that night, he makes okonomiyaki with special sauce, making Juki happy. She shares her birthday ignorance, born in a snowy night, symbolizing purity. He compares snow to life's warmth, inspiring her hope. Born on a heavy, snowy night in winter, her name symbolizes pure, beautiful snowflakes. Hitoyoshi thinks snow can be warm, like how it covers seeds, helping them survive the cold and grow strong someday. This makes Juki realize that staying here, she might understand more about life, why this world feels so warm, and why Hitoyoshi makes her heart stir like this. Thinking of the future, the maid couldn't be happier. After a few days, Hitoyoshi has something to ask the maid. He gives her an earring tool, saying school's starting soon, and he wants to show his friends a new look. He's not brave enough to do it himself, so he asks her to help. At first, the super maid opens the door, thrilling Riko even more. Inside, she scolds her brother for not telling her about the maid sooner. The house is spotless, plus the cute dog, what can resist? She asked before, but he never mentioned it. If Mom knew, she'd worry. That's why he didn't want to tell her, and now she's teasing more. They get along, calling herself Riko the Wise. The maid says Juki, the assassin, sharing everything, leaving him speechless. He forgot to warn her, thinking it'd scare his sister, but she's excited, seeing her as a cool big sister. Dad's already agreed. She wants to hire a maid like that. Their family is a bit special, so if she says it, Dad will approve, leaving her wondering if it's trust or indulgence. The worst is Hitoyoshi hiding it, even though he knows she loves beauty. Juki asks about them living in different places, but the little sister doesn't dare elaborate and can't face her directly, saying, that's why Hitoyoshi didn't want to tell his little sister about his adorable maid. Hearing this, she teases him more for lying. They introduce themselves. She calls herself Riko the Wise, asking the maid to remember. When asked her name, she says Juki, the assassin type, spilling everything, leaving Hitoyoshi speechless. He forgot to tell her to hide it, thinking it'd scare his sister, but she's thrilled, seeing her as, that big sister is the most amazing. She even signed the notebook with such enthusiasm. Seeing this, though Juki doesn't know how to write, she sketched her name to make her little sister happy. Looking at her like this, instead of a killer, Riko thinks she's like a elegant lady radiating a deadly beauty just by sitting there. After sketching, the siblings were shocked because it differed from their imagination, but since it's done, they thanked her anyway. Praises the maid's unique handwriting. Here, they learn another thing. Though she can't write, her language skills are top tier. As an assassin, Juki had to master many tongues and now speaks 12 languages. Feeling embarrassed about not knowing calligraphy, her signature looks like a first grader's. Riko doesn't mind, she finds it cuter this way. Hearing that, the maid. She's happier now. Suddenly, Riko has an idea. Use the maid for her free research project. Hitoyoshi can't stop it and worries what she'll do. Asking Juki, she agrees since Riko's his sister. Her first wish is to see the assassin's instincts. Hitoyoshi warns her not to. Just compare her to a maid with an assassin's charm. Hearing that, Juki invites the siblings to the garden for a demo, thrilling the little sister to the point of becoming a target. Instantly, Juki flips in the air, weapons flying, piercing the apple on her head. Hitoyoshi's heart races, but seeing his sister's excitement, the little sister asks how the maid hides her daggers so well. She explains her clothes are full of weapons. Normally she carries 16, but Hitoyoshi complained, so now only 5, 1 at her chest, 2 per leg under her skirt, ready for battle any time. Riko questions the inconvenience. Juki explains the bells signal doom for enemies, making her even cooler in Riko's eyes. The little sister's stomach growls, so Hitoyoshi laughs and offers to cook something. She demands the maid do it, asking her specialty. Juki isn't sure if chopping veggies counts as cooking, so she demonstrates her best skill so far. Normally he cooks or buys food, but now, realizing the efficient way, Quickly, Juki produces a delicious plate of veggies. But they can't let Riko eat just cabbage, so they go for hamburgers. Spotting a festival poster, she's excited for the summer fireworks starting today. Hitoyoshi doesn't mind and tells the maid about the rice cakes with divine sauce she loves. Just mentioning it, Juki drools at the shooting game, begging her master to go, and he agrees, brightening her mood. Riko happily leads the maid to play. First, they try for stuffed animals, but she fails badly, true assassin, but she's knife specialized and fears guns. Next, the fish-catching game is fun when Juki catches so many that the shop owner is shocked. The little sister wants to know her secret, treating the maid like a fish-catching master. She explains to hide your presence from the target and strike quickly, that's it. Then, she diligently guides her little sister by the hand. The owner praises Riko for having such a gentle, kind big sister, which surprises even her. Later, they head to the rice cake stall and see plenty of so much sauce on the rice cake. The maid's ecstatic. Riko finds it odd but enjoys it. Juki eats like a squirrel, making her laugh. Hitoyoshi watches, speechless. The owner, seeing her delight, rewards her with a jar of sauce and a bag of cakes. Juki's overjoyed. The little sister runs for drinks, worrying Hitoyoshi she'll get lost, so he waits nearby. But she's late. This is Juki's first real festival joy, unlike past missions. When fireworks launch, it's her target's end, but now, mixed with excitement of the festival, it's an indescribable loneliness. Hitoyoshi gets it but doesn't know how to comfort her. Just then, fireworks explode, amazing the maid. She's never felt this joy before. Now, with Riko back, they sit together, enjoying the night. The festive summer vibe, watching the maid smile. Hitoyoshi feels mesmerized, maybe he likes her. As fireworks end, they walk home hand in hand. Riko's satisfied, having fun with her brother after so long, plus rice cakes and sauce. According to her notes, Juki ate 8, so no more today. Adding to the festival's lonely atmosphere, indescribable. Hitoyoshi senses it but doesn't know how to comfort her, as it's already happened. Just then, fireworks light up the sky, astonishing the maid. She's never seen anything so beautiful, all because Hitoyoshi is by her side, making her feel this joy. Now, Riko returns with drinks, and they sit together, enjoying the festive air. They deserve punishment for ruining her food, plus Hitoyoshi's words. The maid switches to serious mode, taking a shortcut to chase the speeding thief. With her veteran skills, she catches up easily. He realizes if he doesn't stop her, the thief's done. Meanwhile, his sister is thrilled about this. Excited to see the maid punish that scoundrel, Hitoyoshi is lost for words. How can a girl love assassins and fight so much? They take a shortcut to follow, fearing Juki might cause trouble in public. Now, she's in position, throwing a dagger to burst the thief's tire, sending him tumbling. The maid approaches slowly, not to kill, but to knock him on the head as punishment. Punishment alone. Yet Hitoyoshi stops her from killing the thief. That's harsh. This should be left to the police. Seeing the maid so cheerful, he suggests buying more rice cakes as a reward for her good work. Because of this, they worry and decide to escort her little sister home safely. She acts tough, saying she doesn't need protection, but admits today was fun and wants to write about it in her report. Free report. Juki is asked if she's ever skipped homework. Well, she's never been to school. Hearing her little sister talk about school's fun and friends, she gets jealous. Then, Riko gets a message from Mom and urges her brother to hurry home. Today, The maid learned so much. To her, those words are normal, but people do it, so she wants to go to school too. Suddenly, Hitoyoshi remembers he doesn't know her age. If she could attend, she'd make friends and live normally. So, he invites her to enroll. Later, after some time, Hitoyoshi starts a new school year. After summer changes, his classmates talk about a beautiful maid in town. Hearing about the stunning maid, he nearly chokes. Juki has fans now. He wonders if leaving her home is okay. Pretending ignorance, his friend says he met her at the library and praises her serious cosplay. Then, the teacher enters, introducing a new student. Looking up, it's Juki, shocking Hitoyoshi. It's heavy, plus she took his last name Yokoya. The teacher introduces her as Hitoyoshi's cousin, impressing the class. She's seated right in front of him. With her beauty, everyone admires her. He realizes his sister Riko orchestrated this to push them together. She's thrilled at the surprise she caused. Hitoyoshi got her in through underworld connections. The family background was Riko's idea, saying she's family makes it easier, and it worked. Though older, she wanted his class to stay together and serve him. Keeping it secret until the end was also Riko's plan, as it felt. For keeping secrets, Juki explains using underworld ties for enrollment. The family story was Riko's idea for ease, and it worked. Though older, she wanted his class to be together. The secret reveal was Riko's thrill, as, teasing her brother, she's happy, but he smacks her, making Juki think he's angry. He explains he's not mad, just shocked, but this is good since the maid always dreamed of a normal life. The next day, while classmates rush for food, Juki craves rice cakes. Normally, Hitoyoshi would go to the convenience store, but seeing her, if she wants to eat, he must indulge her. That rice cake is a rare item here. Without speed, it's gone. Hearing that, Juki's eyes light up like she's found treasure. Hitoyoshi says the students run incredibly fast, and their class is farthest from the cafeteria, so no competition. But the maid won't give up. Give up? No, she must hunt that prize. Riko says her master taught her that in hunting, even if both sides suffer, you must catch the prey. She tells Hitoyoshi to stay calm. She'll get the rice cake. Instantly, Juki climbs to the rooftop for a clear view. Hitoyoshi tries to stop her, fearing someone might see, but she dashes forward fearlessly, leaving him helpless. He sees that hungry face, just like his adorable little sister. Seeing sweets, he knows those craving them will stop at nothing. That's the peak ability of girls he can't match. If applied to Juki, nothing stops her from food. Her normal life dream is derailed. Now, the rice cake guards are racing below. The fastest legs always reach the cafeteria first to grab their favorite treats. They train endlessly. Hitoyoshi fears at this rate, Juki will reveal her true self to everyone. But success has its own path. She jumps straight up, avoiding the crowd. With her elite assassin skills, she easily becomes the first to arrive. Approaches the cafeteria, fixing her graceful pose. She demands one of each rice cake, but they only sell kuta or sandwiches. So, Juki apologizes for not completing the task. She offers her favorite to Hitoyoshi, but he refuses, saying anything's fine as long as she's happy. Juki double-checks if she can eat it alone. Hitoyoshi agrees since he's tried it before and it's her prize. Eating it alone feels wrong. He almost scolds her for her wild school behavior, but her cute face stops him. Enjoying this treasure, Juki is over the moon. To double the joy, she feeds him a piece. He's embarrassed, but alone, he opens his mouth. Enjoy the treat. The rice cake is delicious, especially from such a beautiful girl's hands. It's indescribable. That evening, the adorable little sister visits, saying she'll sleep here tonight. Hitoyoshi seems unhappy, and Riko scolds him, pointing out he gets cozy with Juki every night, so tonight is her turn. Plus, she always dreamed of having a beautiful big sister like that, making this a special event she wants. Heart to heart before sleep, there's so much to do since they're both girls. Riko imagines Hitoyoshi as a woman that's wild. Since knowing Juki lives here, she wants him to marry the maid. It's perfect. This is her deep desire for. The little sister teases that the maid loves him deeply, making Hitoyoshi think it's true. Normally, she shows no signs of romance, but Riko, being a girl, claims to understand her feelings better. Hitoyoshi is skeptical, remembering how she fed him without blushing. She should have been shy. Hearing that, Riko is even more convinced of this love affair, thinking the maid truly cares for him. For myself, from now on, just count down until I'm old enough to marry. She even asked what wedding gift would be fitting. Hitoyoshi thinks she's rushing too much, but Riko believes their mom will agree right away, though dad might be stubborn like Hitoyoshi. She suggests a Western-style wedding mixed with tradition would be perfect. Juki walks in and hears them talking about marriage, making Hitoyoshi feel awkwardly shy. Doesn't dare speak, but Riko is thrilled, wanting the maid as her sister-in-law. Asking if she likes her brother, she admits admiring him. Hearing that, Hitoyoshi is over the moon. Riko peels fruit for her, adding sauce, and curiously asks if the maid normally wears makeup. Her skin's so fair, so cute and expressive, not plain like her. Hearing that, the little sister falls for the maid, happy to be praised. Only dad and mum say that, not her brother. Asking if she can be like her, Juki says since trying the sauce, her skin's smoother, and advises eating it often. Hitoyoshi. Very cute and full of expressions. Hearing that, the little sister adores the maid, happy for the praise. Only her parents say that. Asking if she can be like her, Juki says the sauce improved her skin and suggests trying it. Hitoyoshi sees. Hitoyoshi is stunned watching them. His sister tries the fruit with sauce, thinking it's like salted watermelon, but it's delicious. He thinks they've become real sisters now, thanks to Riko. Girls get along better. Seeing him, she thinks he's dreaming of marriage with Juki. The maid doesn't get it, so she asks Hitoyoshi, who shyly changes the topic, but Riko insists. In Japan, at 18, he can marry, and she could take their name. He sees her as too forward and, to him, it's wonderful having a beautiful wife. The girl doesn't understand, so she asks Hitoyoshi, who nervously dodges, but Riko explains at 18, he can marry and Juki could join their family. He doesn't know how to stop her and is asked if he'd like a stunning wife, of course, but, of course, making him blush. His sister agrees, seeing it as a declaration. The next day at school, Hitoyoshi's mind is on last night, ignoring the lesson, and gets hit with chalk. Juki, sitting in front, cuts it in half with her dagger, doubling his sorrow. She's shocked she couldn't stop it sooner. The class is stunned. Scared the teacher half to death. If he sues, it could mean jail time. Hitoyoshi heads to the infirmary alone, worried but for the maid who's always in danger. Inside, surprisingly, it's not Miss Maruyama today, but a new nurse named Nita. She asks what's wrong, and before he knows, chalk flies into his eyes. She tells him to lie on the bed, making him feel something's off. Her intuition screams mystery. Hitoyoshi is asked if he's the boyfriend of that beautiful girl, meaning Juki. She says she saw them together and is curious. He calls her his cousin, exciting her. She flirts, saying she likes his face. After the checkup, his eyes are fine, but she pins him down, terrifying him. Turns out he's just prey to her. That girl finds Hitoyoshi's face so cute. She teases by trying to pull his pants down, but suddenly, the beautiful Juki bursts in, sensing her master's danger. Their fierce eyes meet. She asks Hitoyoshi what's wrong. He runs to her, crying for protection. The girl says she's just joking, not planning to eat him. Juki treats him like a trembling hamster, while she sees herself as a playful cat. So cute, she teases if Juki sees the resemblance, but she stays silent. In this, Hitoyoshi is the most innocent, not knowing who she's dealing with. The maid pulls him close, making him feel cherished. She warns the girl not to come near Hitoyoshi, leading him to think she's jealous. Thus, they quietly leave, on high alert. Juki drags him away and explains she has. First, she apologizes to Hitoyoshi for hurting his eyes. He thinks it's a confession, but it's about the woman being another assassin, unsure of her purpose. In the room, all Juki's joyful moments from last night are recorded. Nita thought she was on a mission, but she's playing house, so she wants to crush. About Gray. She's obsessed with money and dreams of being surrounded by good men, living a lavish life on Santorini Island. For that, she gathers information and commits countless murders. Now, she's found a prime target to fulfill her dream, eliminating the adorable Maid, or more precisely, the peak assassin nicknamed Snow returns home. Hitoyoshi, worried for him, can't sleep and keeps watching. Being stared at by a girl like this keeps him awake. Not knowing when the suspicious one from school will strike, she must guard him. More importantly, she thinks if she looks away, he could be torn apart any time. So, once she knows. Who is that girl? Juki wants to stay by her master's side forever. She says she's having trouble sleeping. Is there a better way? Okay, I'll lie next to you. This makes the young man blush with embarrassment, but Juki is overjoyed. She suggests letting him rest his head on her lap, but that might limit her movements if enemies attack. Hitoyoshi can't refuse. He's thrilled yet worried for her. Hearing this, the maid is delighted and shy. Even with one hand, she can handle that level of enemy. This shows her incredible skills. Since she only had a small dagger today, she was cautious, but with full weapons, she'd crush them. Juki knows the opponent won't target her directly, so they'll go for the softer target, Hitoyoshi, the maid. In the climax, Juki's resolve clashes with Nita's greed, promising a thrilling resolution to their epic tale. Warmth in his heart. Hearing that, he's glad but worries for her, as he can't help. He doesn't want to lose her. Opening the window for air, she stops him, fearing snipers. Suddenly, she smells the sauce. It's midnight, so it's that girl's trick. Distracted, Gray captures Hitoyoshi and mocks him. So clumsy. Who gets tricked like that? She fights like a cat, moving lightly. She calls her opponent the White Wolf of the Dragon's 9 offspring. Juki moves, but Grey threatens Hitoyoshi's life, enraging her. With a fierce glare, she asks if she's ready for pain worse than death for touching him. Grey knows the White Wolf's fangs aren't blunt, the wolf's claws aren't dull, so she worries. With her skills, even in 1,000 years, she couldn't face Juki directly. Thus, she uses Hitoyoshi as leverage to find an opening to take her down. She sets a meeting at 2 a.m. at school to save his heart. Juki could kill her any time, but since living with Hitoyoshi, she doesn't want to, fearing he'd be sad seeing death. Forgive herself, but her teacher's words echo. Yuki is forever the peak assassin, stained with death's scent. Still, she wants to change, blaming herself for involving Hitoyoshi. She resolves to kill the girl and erase all traces to prevent repeats. But suddenly, his words change her mind. Because only here does she feel loved, free to do what she likes. Hitoyoshi says he doesn't want to lose her, so she's changed. As for Grey, she's prepared, tying him up like a pervert. She thinks this suits him, making him angry. How can he not fear a captor, like a hero's blood? It's been there since birth, so, even with his life in another's hands, Grey threatens to crush his heart any time. The tragedy stems from Hitoyoshi's maid, blaming that woman for his bad luck. She asks if he's angry or sad, but his face shows nothing. If he says he's not scared, it's a lie, but he knows one thing, that Zuki will come to save me, so all I can do now is trust in my maid sister. Hearing that, Grey was surprised and praised how much braver it looks than on the outside, maybe even the child of some anonymous assassin, since it tamed Sue. But I'm not interested in him. I just want to crush Zuki with my own hands. That way I get the reward and fame. It innocently asked, is calling Sue just referring to my maid? She's the most shocked because this guy lived with Sue without knowing her true identity. What he knows is that Zuki is a top-tier assassin maid, and for people in the business like Grey, she's seen as a monster. The world is full of dangers, but Sue stands out. She kills without hesitation or a second thought. Calling Zuki a destruction machine isn't wrong at all. As for her background, she's the 4th child in the Dragon's 9 offspring, with fighting strength compared to a dragon, and her title is White Wolf Sue. Dragon's 9 offspring is the most dangerous assassin organization, drawing talents from everywhere in the world. Legend has it that whenever society changes, their hand is behind it. But because of their immense power, they have many enemies. In other words, taking down Sue would make you famous. Work and rewards would skyrocket, turning dreams into reality. Hearing this, Hitoyoshi looked at her with a weary eye, realizing assassins are like that. He also mentioned his Zuki as well-behaved, sometimes a bit clueless, but incredibly adorable, especially when given that special sauce. Grey had to admit that at first she thought it was a mistake, so she watched them for 3 whole weeks before concluding. Now, she's certain Zuki is the White Wolf Sue of the Dragon's 9 offspring. The highlight was when they sat in the garden talking about marriage age. He almost shot them right then for how annoying it was. Hitoyoshi felt embarrassed, admitting that day was really fun. Only now does she realize he's different. No ordinary person could stay so calm facing life and death, even chatting nonsense with her. She figures Hitoyoshi's real background isn't just some coward. Plus, she has to admit he has a way of melting hearts. No wonder Sue is so captivated by him. This gives Grey an advantage because the more you love, the weaker you get in this eat-or-be-eaten world. No one plays by the rules. Zuki arrives right on time, launching the rescue. The enemy fires straight at her, but she slices the bullet in half that's straight out of a movie, yet Zuki pulls it off. Grey activates a trap, causing an explosion at Sue's feet. She's thrilled, thinking she's crippled 2 limbs of the White Wolf, but before she can celebrate, she's slashed at. Luckily, she blocks it. Hitoyoshi worries for his maid sister, as the opponent fights dirty. He tells his master to stay calm. Everything will fall into place. This infuriates her, as they're chatting mid-fight like she doesn't even matter. She attacks verbally, saying Zuki hid her identity out of guilt, being the youngest dragon child in history. How many lives were lost for that title? If her identity is exposed, enemies will swarm everywhere. This family game with Hitoyoshi is over. Zuki stays calm, wanting to end this quickly so Hitoyoshi can rest and go to school tomorrow. This makes the Black Cat furious, as her opponent shows no respect. Zuki daydreams about a happy family life. The enemy resorts to threats, aiming a heavy sniper at Hitoyoshi's limbs. She warns Zuki not to move. But before she finishes, Zuki charges at blinding speed that's not in the plan at all. Shocked, Grey activates the sniper, thinking Zuki doesn't care about Hitoyoshi's life. But no, Zuki is confident in her skills to block the bullet before it hits. Hitoyoshi panics as the enemy switches tactics, but Zuki destroys the phone first. Victory is clear. She realizes this is a member of the top assassin organization, fourth in the Dragon's 9 offspring, truly formidable. Yet, she's stubborn, still aiming at Hitoyoshi, only to be thrown aside. Zuki thought that was the end, but Grey knows escaping the shadow of an assassin is impossible. No matter what, Sue will always be Sue, and others like her will come hunting for fame. She asks if Grey will kill them all. Zuki admits she's that kind of person and thought killing was the only way to live. But now, it's different. She won't kill anymore and won't let anyone die because of her. From now on, no matter what happens, she wants to choose her own path and protect the normal life Hitoyoshi gave her. This is nothing like what Grey heard about Sueya, supreme assassin who hunts prey to the ends of the earth, even into hell. She realizes if Zuki wanted to kill her, she could have done it long ago. Hitoyoshi is saved and overjoyed. Being rescued by a beauty is a thrill. Grey, escaping death, finds them fascinating. On the way home, Hitoyoshi acts like everything's fine, saying he trusts his maid's abilities. Zuki feels sad for dragging her master into this mess, and apologizes endlessly, offering to disappear like nothing happened. Hearing that, he grabs her hand, promising to learn martial arts for self-defense next time, and pulls her close, touching her heart. A few days later, Zuki adapts to school life, becoming the center of attention. The girls adore her, and the boys are mesmerized by her mature beauty. Hitoyoshi sits alone, marveling that if his maid sister is serious, these guys would be stunned. She's not just beautiful and smart, she's also great at sports. No one believes she's his cousin because he's so ordinary. He recalls the kidnapping and still gets chills, especially knowing she's the White Wolf Sueya killing machine fueled by rice, and the fourth child of the Dragon's 9 offspring. Luckily, Zuki has decided not to let her bloody hands claim more lives, so he's a bit more at ease. She's striving to become as normal as possible. Suddenly, she glances at Hitoyoshi and smiles, making his friends jealous. Out of nowhere, a ball flies toward him, but Grey blocks it. After pretending to be a nurse last time, she's now disguised as the gym teacher to get close. Though her intentions aren't bad this time, she still causes trouble for Hitoyoshi. Only maid sister is enough. Now there's this one claiming to be family. It's chaos. She gets too friendly with her student, so he asks her to keep a proper distance as a teacher. Back to this morning, the pair encounters their previous enemy at school. At first, they think she's still after the maid sister, but it's the opposite. Hitoyoshi doesn't even recognize her as the night cat assassin who kidnapped him. Grey's disguise is that good. This is her true form. She says from now on, she'll be the gym teacher and pose as Hitoyoshi's cousin who just moved to Tokyo. To explain, she boasts about her skill in gathering info, while Zuki only knows how to use a knife. If they team up, things could get interesting. She's thrilled by such ideas. That night, after seeing how Hitoyoshi tamed the legendary White Wolf Sue, she grew to admire him. How could a top assassin listen to some ordinary guy and even vow not to kill anymore? Grey promises to stop hunting her friend, as she can't beat two assassins' deal. From now on, she won't touch the pair and will supply Zuki's favorite cakes for 3 months. Hitoyoshi thinks this deal is too good to be true, and surprisingly, his maid sister agrees right away. He asks if it's okay, and seeing her drooling, he gets the reason. In the assassin world, no one would make a silly deal if they knew they couldn't win. Grey knows harming Hitoyoshi won't benefit her, and if anything happens, she'll save him like before. Zuki bluntly says even if Grey brought 1,000 more like her, it wouldn't matter. Grey feels slighted but knows it's true, so she endures. From now on, she'll quietly observe them to satisfy her curiosity. That's why the beautiful teacher is always hanging on Hitoyoshi's shoulder. Truth is, she doesn't like gym, but in school, only that or nurse lets her be lazy, so she chose to teach Hitoyoshi's class for easy watching. He finds it confusing. She said she'd observe quietly, yet here she is chatting away and even teasing Zuki to make her jealous. Seeing her master teased, Zuki smashes the ball into the wall as a warning. The whole class freezes, and the teacher wisely backs off. Luckily, the girls are naive and get excited about Zuki hitting the ball through the net, even though she's not in any club. Grey chuckles at the sight of someone in class who's lazy but notices when a shoelace is loose and fixes it thanks to her assassin instincts. Zuki feels ashamed for showing a bit of her strength earlier, but Hitoyoshi defends her, saying it's because Grey keeps teasing him. He asks about her feelings, but he's not sure. Though he knows Grey isn't an enemy anymore, seeing her get close makes him want to lash. Uthi's mind goes blank, not wanting anyone from that underworld near Hitoyoshi. He realizes it's just jealousy and assures her it's a normal human emotion, so his maid sister shouldn't worry. Hearing that, she lights up, making his heart ache with how adorable she is. The next day, they spend time together when not at school. White Wolf Sue returns to her role as the charming maid, handling household chores smoothly for Hitoyoshi. It's become second nature now. He doesn't even need to think about it. Since she's used to doing things by hand, seeing the washing machine clean clothes so perfectly thrills her. It's so much easier and leaves everything fresh and soft. She proudly shows it to her sleepy master, waking him up completely, remembering a month ago when she was clueless and messed up, like pouring dish soap into the washer and making bubbles everywhere. After countless failures, this top-tier maid has conquered laundry, making Hitoyoshi quietly proud. He praises it as a huge step for her, and her eyes sparkle with joy. The plump Mochi looks happy too, but it's probably just excited for food. After feeding the piglet, Hitoyoshi plans dinner. The fridge only has cabbage left, so he asks Zuki what she'd like with it. She immediately thinks of chopping cabbage to eat with tuna and that special sauce, as always. Hitoyoshi is great at indulging his his maid sister, so he takes her hand to the shop. He's a regular there, so the owners adore him and pack some tuna. Though they're old and frail, their love for the craft shines through. They ask about the beautiful stranger. Zuki is over the moon because this is the holy place of that divine sauce. Seeing her like this reminds Hitoyoshi of his own excitement over favorites, and he knows it's just normal for people. Mr. Kuta is slicing meat with shaky hands from age that's a knife user's fatal flaw, but miraculously, each cut is precise and professional. At that age, cutting so accurately, Zuki thinks he's no ordinary elder, he's likely a retired legendary assassin. Hitoyoshi is baffled, thinking she's imagining things. Coincidentally, he mentions to Mrs. Kuta that his maid loves their sauce. She beams, and Zuki sees her as a goddess for creating such a miracle. Hitoyoshi compliments their fried dishes, always aromatic, crispy, and flawless. Zuki is the most grateful, as she's never known flavors before. Food was just fuel, not something to savor. But since tasting that divine sauce, her senses awakened and her world changed. She says for her, the sauce is everything. Each taste warms her heart and fills her with happiness beyond words. Mrs. Kuta is delighted for this sweet girl, explaining that Zuki's heart was already warm, which is why she appreciates the sauce's deliciousness. This evokes the loving feeling Hitoyoshi created from their first meal together. The warmth he brought enhanced the flavors. In her emotional high, she jumps when Mr. Pasatino. Kuta taps her shoulder, impossible for a top assassin, so she confirms he's a legend. The couple invites Zuki to try their new sauce recipe. Hearing that, she turns into an obedient puppy and tastes it slowly. From the first touch, it's incredibly delicious. That evening, the pair enjoys a joyful meal. Hitoyoshi rests first, leaving the dishes for himself. He sits, reflecting on everything, amazed that his adorable maid was once an assassin. He wants to ask about her organization, but fears burdening her, so he drops it. Suddenly, he remembers his mother leaving home that year. Riko went with her, while he stayed with his father. Though they parted, she said he could visit any time, but the separation saddened him deeply. Now, after waking from a dream, he finds himself hugging Zuki. She's worried because he was crying in his sleep. He jumps back upon touching something soft, apologizes, saying it was a strange dream, and assures her he's fine. Zuki offers to help him sleep well, asking him to rest on her lap like before. She accidentally sees him researching the dragon's 9 offspring and asks. He admits he wants to know more about her but was too shy. She says she doesn't know much. Her master just pointed, and she followed, never caring about the group. She met other members but didn't even know their names. So, it's not that she's hiding, there's nothing to tell. Back then was different from now. Her only goal was survival, ignoring everything else. Even now, her biggest worry is disappointing her master and losing her place, which makes adapting to human life hard, like bird songs or morning sun. It all feels like a dream to her. She hopes one day to get used to this life and become as normal as Hitoyoshi wants. Thinking about it, she feels joyful, and so does he, saying waking up to see her each morning brings peace. He thanks her for choosing this home despite the dangers. Sharing this, he feels like he's confessing, so he gets embarrassed. Zuki explains wanting him on her lap makes her feel useful, so from now on, if he has nightmares, he can sleep there. Hearing that, he feels a deep calm, as if she's filled the gap his mother left. A few days later, Zuki goes shopping alone and notices people staring because of her cute face and movie-like outfit. A little girl approaches, chatting and saying she loves it, wanting to be like her. Zuki is thrilled someone likes it. The girl asks where she bought the maid outfit, as normal people don't wear it. That hits Zuki's desire to be normal, making her thoughtful. Just then, Hitoyoshi arrives to pick up his future wife. She asks if maid outfits are not normal, and she's never realized it. The next day, he dedicates time to buy her new clothes. Surprisingly, Riko and Gray show up. Riko decided to join after his shopping message, and Gray overheard their conversation and wants to tag along. Hitoyoshi suspects eavesdropping and finds a bug in the house. Zuki apologizes, thinking she destroyed them all. Gray excuses it as needing help to pick outfits for a girl. Hitoyoshi is wary of this group but lets them come. Riko recognizes Zuki as an assassin and is a bit shocked, but Gray adores the cute sister just like her brother. They get along instantly. Gray finds Riko fascinating and adorable. They head to the shop Riko recommends, but it's all Maid outfits, pretty, but not as practical as the old one. Hitoyoshi is helpless against his sister's tastes. Zuki dislikes them, saying they're not as flexible. Riko buys one for Gray, who suggests exploring other areas for eye-catching stuff. Hitoyoshi worries about the consequences in public and vetoes it. Zuki agrees, as she can't hide her knives. He questions why she still carries weapons after quitting, and she smiles, saying it makes her feel safe. He gives up on that. Reminding the two not to cause trouble, they move to a fashion store. Zuki's perfect figure makes everything look stunning, especially the swimsuit that shows her curves, irritating Gray. Riko compares her to a model and asks Hitoyoshi what he likes. He suggests a white dress, elegant and subtle. Gray gets jealous, as he answered so quickly, probably thought about it before. After a long session, they buy everything Zuki tried. Since they're rich, it's no big deal. They decide to have fun for Halloween. Riko is excited and wants to pick outfits for her brother. Hitoyoshi is surprised they're celebrating, as his mother always looked forward to it. Zuki shares the excitement. Hitoyoshi spots a horror movie and suggests watching it. He loves that genre. Zuki has never seen films, as theaters were just mission spots for her. She's scared, but he acts tough. During the movie, the three enjoy it, but Zuki falls asleep. Seeing the zombie scenes, she freaks out just like any girl. From then, they discover she's terrified of zombies. Riko is confused, as Zuki could easily handle them. She explains it's the rotten smell and that they're dead yet walking, so killing them feels wrong. Hitoyoshi thinks it's naive but understandable, as her world was about permanent ends. He reassures her such horrors don't exist, so don't worry. Riko laughs, finding it odd that a top assassin fears zombies. On the way home, Hitoyoshi buys cake for the kids. Riko loves it, and Zuki agrees it's great. Gray tries to feed him, but he refuses. Their close outing catches a classmate's eye. Zuki notices a big guy warning Naka about being too relaxed, as Hika family members must stay alert. They seem to be assassins too, so Naka prioritizes training over fun. She's grateful to Tsu for mentoring her. The four don't realize they're being watched and plan another outing. Gray adores Riko and agrees anytime. She bids farewell, as her home is in another direction. Hitoyoshi takes Riko home, leaving Zuki to prepare dinner. Suddenly, she feels watched and checks herself in the mirror. Saddened, she still can't believe in her current life. On the way, she reflects on her old maid outfit and her former master who gifted it. It was from her assassin days. Now, to chase her dream, she must let it go, feeling a pang of sadness. Back home, she decides to wear the old one. With rain signs outside, she prepares everything. Hitoyoshi gets wet, and Mochi is as playful as ever, demanding attention. Since they were out early, the dog was alone and mischievous, soaking its bone in slobber. Hitoyoshi isn't back yet, so Zuki hesitates to wash it, but decides to clean the toy to prevent illness. Mochi understands and takes the towel elsewhere. Outside, thunder and lights go out, reminding Zuki of movie horrors. Mochi tries to hide the towel but gets stuck, knocking over a pot and making a noise. As White Wolf Sue, she's terrified but musters courage to check, fearing zombies. The dog drags the wet rag, scaring her witless. When Hitoyoshi returns, he finds the towel shredded. Mochi is upset. Zuki explains the chaos, and he expected something like this. She soothes Mochi, promising to fix it, determined despite the challenge. He asks why she's in the maid outfit, thinking she didn't like the new ones, but she says shopping and picking with everyone was happiness. She just can't let go of this gift. She shares how it was from her old master, assassin and maid. It's the only link to him after his passing. He supported her quitting killing for a normal life, which she didn't fully grasp until meeting Hitoyoshi. Now, she cherishes it more, and wears it to remember him. It's why she's here, even if it's not normal. She asks if that's strange, and he says it's perfectly normal. Her fearing zombies is no big deal. Liking what you want is human. He teaches her about emotions, saying she can chase normalcy her way, not rigidly. Hearing that, she's overjoyed, and Mochi cheers too, probably for dinner. Hitoyoshi realizes the torn blanket connects Mochi to its parent's scent. Zuki wants to restore it even more. Before dinner, she says she understands Mochi's feelings, as she doesn't want to lose her outfit. The bell she wears connects her to her lost sister. Hitoyoshi is surprised she has a sister like him. The next day, they tell Gray to help find her sister. Zuki thought Gray would know, so Hitoyoshi invited her. But Gray plays dumb, saying the only clue is the bell and the name Hua. Good luck finding that. She's just here for the ramen. In a flash, she devours the special bowl while they start. Zuki notes the pure flavor is unmistakable and wants her to taste it plainly, but Gray dumps her favorite sauce in and acts innocently blissful. This irks the cat assassin. Ramen should savor the broth fully. Later they refuel, but Mrs. Kuta says students bought it all, so it's out. Zuki is shattered. Hitoyoshi realizes the Kuta festival is coming, explaining the rush. The owner apologizes, even orders take a week. Zuki's spirits crash but thanks her for the amazing sauce. With the last bit left, she vows to cherish it. Hitoyoshi distracts her, asking what she'd say to her sister. Zuki says her memories are fuzzy. She barely remembers her face, and her parents are a blur. By the time she realized she was a lone assassin, the bell is their only link. Her mother said it'd reunite them someday, but 10 years passed with no clues. She's afraid to face her sister, thinking she's hated. Now, she just wants her to be happy. Hitoyoshi thinks of ways to cheer her up. Their story is overheard by classmates, who ask if Zuki's sister is as beautiful as her supermodel, they say. Taiga and Kobachi, Hitoyoshi's close friends, mention winning a signed album of singer Nasuka, who's at the Kuta festival. They're jealous of Hitoyoshi's girl-filled life, but happy he's brighter since his relative arrived. Remembering middle school, he was always stressed, rebelling against his father, dealing with teen angst. Kobachi shares stories, like Hitoyoshi wearing winter coats in summer. Zuki enjoys hearing how he's changed her, like keeping the house clean now, unlike his messy middle school days. Hitoyoshi shuts Taiga up, but he drops the precious disc into the drain. Zuki reacts fast, tossing her bag to save it, but it shatters. The last sauce is gone, shocking her deeply. She even dreams of heartbreak that night. The next day, Hitoyoshi checks on her. She's just waking up, pale and unexplainable, saying she dreamed the sauce hated her. He sighs, thinking it's delusional, and advises waiting a week since they ordered more. Zuki understands but fears insomnia without it, and true to her word, nightmares follow. She sneaks to his room, saying her dreams are terrifying. He's studying for tomorrow's exam but talks with her. She calls him attentive to everything. Flattered, he asks if she's ever hated anyone. He says no one's that bad, except maybe his father for splitting the family, though they're just distant. Hearing that, Zuki recalls her sister saying she hated her, so she leaves, claiming she's distracting him. He's worried she'll have more nightmares. Later, she dreams of the source scolding her for abandoning it and her sister, saying she's just a killer and a bother to Hitoyoshi, who has Riko anyway. Flashback. As a 7-year-old prodigy, speaking 15 languages thanks to her translator parents, she only cared about their smiles. She thought happiness was forever, but on her 8th birthday, intruders killed them, targeting her as a genius. She blames herself, even involving her sister, who left after learning. Tears dried, her assassin blood awakened, making her the youngest hunter. Her sister couldn't accept it and vanished. Zuki became a professional, meeting her master who guided her. Hitoyoshi, concerned, rushes to her. She's in tears and collapses into his arms. Though he's busy, he lets her stay. She's never seen her hands shake like this, so he asks if it's a nightmare. She says it's memories, not dreams, the truth of her past. He comforts her, saying a baby stops crying with a gentle back rub, like his mother's heartbeat. She feels his warmth and drifts off. The next morning at school, Taiga is surprised his friend knows nothing about the Kuta festival. She guesses it's just a event, but it's much bigger, the school's biggest tradition with sports, music, and culture. Classes compete for top ranks, and the prize includes the divine VIP sauce, a special recipe. Zuki's mouth waters. She's desperately low on it. Kobachi thinks first years have little chance against seniors' experience, as the student council usually wins by maintaining grades. Hearing that, Zuki feels she's dragging them down. Taiga suggests focusing on practicals if tests are weak. Motivated, she's excited, especially at lunch when Gray brings her favorite cake zone each, as it's scarce. Zuki thanks her, giving Gray chills. Who knew the White Wolf would respect a low-tier assassin? She thinks they've forgotten the kidnapping. Gray shoos them away, saying she's grading tests. Zuki asks what it takes to win. Hitoyoshi says with her skills, it's easy. But Gray reveals Zuki can't join for not writing her name on the gym test. As teacher, she voided it. Zuki is shocked and regrets thanking her. Gray demands that next time at Andaman, Zuki uses the sauce to change flavors or she's out. Hitoyoshi is baffled why she cares about that. Zuki refuses, so Gray watches as she signs it magically. Gray wants an explanation, but Zuki says it was always signed. Hitoyoshi backs her, saying the teacher imagined it. She gives up. He's amazed how fast Zuki signed. Actually, Naka helped. She hides, but Zuki thanks her, making her shy. Naka has a plan to help her idol win the cultural festival. A bit about Naka. Born into discipline, training in ninjutsu, her strength is speed, but she never satisfies her brother Tsu. He's strict, reminding her of their clan's proud legacy, as descendants of 300-year-old ninjutsu masters, demanding self-control. Naka feels she's disappointed him, but he's secretly obsessed with her and praises her internally, though too embarrassed to show it. The Oiso High School Kuta Festival includes a cops and robbers game at 2 p.m, with fun time now. The student council wonders if one cop, Tsu, can handle all robbers, including Naka and Zuki. They don't know Zuki's assassin past. They just see her as strong. Tsu fears she's targeting their clan through Naka. He patrols to watch her. Their class theme is animal-themed tea, creating a fun vibe. Naka says Tsu values perfection and strength. She's too weak to please him, so she wants to win and prove herself by beating him, with Zuki's help. They knew the game in advance. The key is stamina and movement. Each class picks 3 players, so Tiger joined as the strongest after the girls. He's dressed as Source, motivating Zuki. Naka rarely does gym due to her speed drawing attention, and she's slower than Tsu. Zuki vows to give her all not to waste this chance and hopes for teamwork. Naka motivates herself not to give up, or she can't beat her brother. This misunderstanding makes Tsu think Zuki is enchanting his sister to break their family. The game starts. Tsu eyes Naka's cuteness and freezes her with his stare. She looks away, making him think Zuki's influenced her. Everyone sees his disadvantage, but Hitoyoshi senses unease. As counsel, his friends support Tsu to prevent injuries, letting him go all out. Tsu blitzes the robbers, throwing them into the pen effortlessly. It's a storm. The siblings worry as he mows them down. Most robbers are caught. Tiger faces him directly, fueled by Zuki's silent cheer, but gets tossed like rags. Tsu accuses Zuki of deceiving his sister. Naka tries to intervene but gets caught. Remembering Hitoyoshi's words on friendship, Zuki decides to save her. Gently drifting onto the back, it felt like a mother's heartbeat, bringing a sense of safety to the child. This is what men learned from his own mother. Yuki sensed his inner feelings and felt more at ease, so she drifted back to sleep. The next morning at school, Tiger was surprised that his friend knew nothing about the Kuta festival. She guessed it was just some kind of event, but it was much grander than she thought. The upcoming event is the year's biggest traditional festival, featuring sports, music, and culture. Classes will compete for the top ranks, with the winning class earning the sacred Kuta sauce, a super VIP blend made from a special recipe. Hearing this, Yuki's mouth watered endlessly, as she was desperately craving it. Kachi thought it would be tough for first years to win against the experienced upperclassmen, with the student council likely dominating as usual. The real challenge is maintaining their class scores. She boasted about barely passing her test with 42 points without studying, looking so cheerful that Men was left speechless. It was a heartbreaking update that test scores affect the Kuta evaluation. A class's total score combines the average student marks, so smarter classes gain an edge for first place. Yuki realized she was dragging their chances down and felt lost. Tiger suggested that if test scores are low, they should focus on practical efforts. Hearing this, she perked up, especially excited about lunchtime. At noon, her friend brought her favorite snack, but only one piece since it's been scarce lately. Gray demanded they be grateful, saying without this treat, his maid sister might not survive a week. She thanked him sincerely, leaving him with chills. Little did they know, she thought they forgot about capturing her, as Gray shooed them away, claiming he was busy grading tests. Gray wanted to know what it takes for their class to win first in the festival. He figured with a skilled one like her, it would be easy. But then, her friend revealed that the maid can't join the Kura festival because she hasn't written her name on the physical exam. As the teacher, Gray had to void her score to follow the rules, shocking Yuki. Earlier, the teacher glanced at it and found it odd that her friend didn't write her name, assuming it would wait. But without even a passing mark, plus practical tests, she won't qualify. Now it's too late. Gray told her to add her name, but Yuki regretted thanking him earlier, realizing he's stricter than she thought. Gray demanded that if she doesn't want to be disqualified, next time when Andaman bans Yuki from adding Kuta sauce for flavor, she must comply. Hitoshi was baffled why she cared so much about that. White Wolf refused outright, saying there's no other way, then dashed off to sign mysteriously. Gray was confused and demanded an explanation. Yuki claimed she didn't do it, and Men backed her up, saying Gray must have imagined it since the paper was already signed. Seeing his persistence, Gray gave in and let it slide. Later, the young man was amazed how the maid signed so quickly. Turns out another friend helped Naka, who hid after, but got caught and thanked her, revealing her plan to help her admired one win the cultural festival. A bit about Naka. Since birth, she's trained rigorously in ninja arts, excelling in speed but never satisfying her brother. Tsu is always strict, reminding her of their proud family name as descendants of elite ninja users from 300 years ago, demanding self-discipline. Naka felt disappointed, thinking she let her brother down, but he's secretly obsessed with her, praising her cuteness inwardly while acting tough out of shyness. The school's Kuta festival at Oiso High is underway, with classes competing today in a cops and robbers game at 2 p.m, while now is free playtime. In the student council, Teammates wondered if leaving Sue alone as the cop is wise, while everyone else is a robber, including Naka and Yuki. They don't know her assassin background, just seeing her as powerfully strong. The brother, fearing for his family, worries she'll challenge the Hika clan, especially since she's in class with Naka. They warn to stay extra vigilant today. Sue went to watch, claiming patrol, but he's admiring his sister's cute outfit. Their class theme is animal costumes with tea, where customers wear animal hats for a fun vibe. Naka shared that her brother values strength and perfection, feeling too weak to impress him. So, in this event, she wants to win and prove her efforts by defeating him, with help from Yuki, to claim the prize. Hitoshi noticed her shyness around the maid and wondered if they can team up. Thanks to her, they knew the game details in advance. The key to cops and robbers is physical ability and movement. Each class picks 3 players, so Tiger joined as the strongest after the 2 girls. He's dressed as Kuta sauce, making Yuki crave it. He's confident he can beat the council president, but men noted Naka rarely appears in PE due to her high speed, fearing attention, and she's still far from her brother's level. The maid showed her fighting spirit, promising to give her all so as not to waste this chance, hoping Naka will join forces to take down the president. Hearing this, Naka grew more excited, motivating herself not to give up, or she won't catch up to her brother. Unbeknownst to her, Sue overheard and misunderstood it as Yuki enchanting her to break family bonds. Men asked his eccentric friend if he's fighting in that Kuta outfit. He insisted winning in it has more meaning, and since it's televised it needs impact. Hitoshi worried if Yuki's strength gets exposed. Just then, the cute sister arrived to cheer for the maid, but Kobachi brought Riko, and their cafe is handled by others, so she can't be served. With the 3 preparing for the event, they left Kobachi with the younger one. Seeing their closeness, Naka felt jealous of not having friends and asked if the maid has any, surprising Yuki since she doesn't either. The 2 loners connected and became close friends on the spot, as Yuki liked Naka's personality. Naka brightened up and got invited by men to hang out, but she declined out of shyness, saying she needs to learn the game rules first. Hitoshi asked what they were discussing, and the maid innocently questioned what friends are, leaving him baffled, as she's always been a genius without playmates. Naka was thrilled, thinking even if Yuki knew her true identity, they could still get along as allies. To gain an edge, she used her abilities to eavesdrop on the festival committee from afar, learning this year's rules. Soon, the school's main event started, with a special guest Grey in disguise drawing excited cheers. This year's rules changed. Only Tsu is the cop, with as many robbers as wanted, as he's overconfident. He must catch them all in limited time to win, or if one robber escapes, they win. Robbers can free captured teammates by touching them, but to balance it, Grey added costume restrictions for mobility. After hearing this, Naka apologized to Yuki for not knowing sooner to counter it. The maid stayed confident, saying the outfit hides her face from cameras and explained that friends support each other in tough times. The game began with a 15-minute limit, as Sue fixated on his sister's cuteness, making her look away, fueling his suspicions of Yuki's influence. Everyone saw the president's disadvantage, but Hitoshi felt uneasy. As student council, his friends backed Sue to prevent injuries, letting him fight freely. Sue dashed with blinding speed, capturing robbers instantly and tossing them into the pen, like a storm overwhelming them. This fierce assault worried the siblings, as he mowed down the robbers like a machine. Soon, only 3 from men's class remained. Tiger confronted him head-on, feeling energized by the maid's encouragement, but got thrown aside easily. Tsu accused her of deceiving his sister, as Naka tried to intervene but faced him directly. He respected the maid's grip strength, but his advantage came from the bulky outfit. Seeing her in danger, Naka activated her smoke to obscure vision and saved her, only to get captured herself. Remembering Hitoshi's words on friendship, the maid vowed to rescue Naka. Tiger, Kachi, and men were once the class fools, but they never abandoned him, transforming his dull life. Hitoshi hoped to return the favor someday, as true friends do. Following that, the maid rescued her friend, while Tsu grew more furious at his sister protecting an enemy. After 10 minutes, he froze in shock from throwing his sister, as the maid thought holding out 2 more minutes would secure the special sauce. The question was how to hide her true abilities from the cameras. Suddenly, she smelled Kuta on Tsu, seeing it as a heavenly test. Tsu's allies were stunned by the maid's match with their president, as Naka praised her strength and cheered. Hearing that, the brother-sister obsessive felt a stab in his heart, charging at her with all his might, leaving the audience in awe. He yelled about her unclear motives but swore no one would break his family bonds. Amid the clash, the maid felt hungry, wondering what men would cook tonight, as he attacked verbally, accusing her of not understanding friendship and using it to approach his sister, hinting at Naka's hidden past suffering. Perhaps that's why Tsu kept her isolated, fearing others would cause her despair. As they fought, the maid pondered how to end this. while the broadcasters captured the intensity, unaware of the deeper emotions. This subtitle seems to be missing in the provided input, so I'll skip it as per instructions not to add or remove segments. Fed up with his endless talk, she spins around and knocks him down, shocking everyone. She could have won by keeping her distance, but Yuki chooses to save her friend instead, calling out that she now understands the word a bit more and hopes their friendship lasts. She asks if Naka accepts this invitation, but Tsu has approached, protecting her friend, yet the thieves' side loses. As the maid stands in jail, little Riko watches in disbelief, thinking Yuki doesn't get the rules. The result is clear: they can't claim the special prize, but at least their bond strengthens. Overwhelmed, the maid freezes up. Reporters swarm for an interview, but Naka quickly swaps in the guy to help his friend escape. Later, she apologizes for causing their team to lose. Yuki doesn't blame her, saying she was only thinking of saving Naka and wants her friend to cherish her. From now on, they'll share joys and sorrows to solve things together. Hearing this, Naka looks happy, but just then, Tsu arrives to call his sister home. Though he acknowledges Yuki's talent, he still sees her as an enemy. Yet she's done nothing wrong. Overall, today's festival was thrilling and satisfying for all. That evening, instead of music, the couple sits and shares stories from the day. It's their first cultural festival, and he hopes next year the maid wins. She's shocked, never thinking of such long-term plans as an assassin. Death could come any time, so she only thinks about tomorrow. Yuki feels like she's in a dream now, with a bright future ahead. A few days later, Naka gets invited over and shows off her dart-throwing skills to her two friends, exciting them. She reveals she's never done this in front of anyone outside her family, so she's a bit shy. Hitoyoshi thinks it feels familiar somehow, and praises Naka as an amazing ninja. She insists her brother is even more intense. Sometimes, she wishes she didn't have these powers to live like a normal person. Yuki relates, saying she wants that too. Her mind is always filled with ordinary thoughts. She hopes to discuss it with Naka since they're in the same class. Hearing this, Naka is thrilled, knowing their bond will grow stronger. Watching them laugh, Hitoyoshi feels joyful too, but then Gray arrives and teases, saying Naka has been surrounded by girls lately and might be building his own harem. He jokes about having plenty of choices, making him embarrassed as he insists he has no bad intentions. Hitoyoshi wonders where Gray was during the festival, and she says beauty always comes with mystery. She asks if he likes that type and offers to touch his fruit, but the maid stops her, scaring her off. Gray claims it was an accident, leaving her frustrated as she was probably aiming to take him out. She reminds Yuki she's supposed to act normal and asks for help finding info on her sister, but then drops it, saying this life is done for anyway. Hitoyoshi stays neutral, used to it. Naka knows Gray is like them, and Yuki asks while introducing, but really, Gray already knows everything, calling her the youngest of the Hika family. She even guesses Naka signed Yuki's test that day. Gray's here to announce she's heading to China for some business. If she meets old acquaintances of Shui, she might find her sister. Going to the Longsheng Juzi organization is risky. Yuki reminds her that besides her master, she knows no one there. Overall, Gray will miss Christmas with everyone, so she teases Yuki to spend 6 hours with Hitoyoshi in romance. Naka is shocked, and the maid doesn't get the meaning. Her friend asks if they're dating, surprising him since it's the first time she's talked about love. She hopes for understanding if anything feels off. They feel awkward because in class, Yuki introduced herself as his sister, and Naka thinks they look perfect together. Hitoyoshi explains there's nothing between them, but looking at her face it turns into this. The maid looks sad, like she's been rejected, so she pretends to remember something. Before, she never had anyone care for her like this. She thought just looking after herself was enough, but now it's different because there are more people to protect, and it makes her happy. Hitoyoshi feels relieved. Snow starts falling, making Yuki look more beautiful than ever. Suddenly, a message from his dad says he'll return to Japan for the new year, leaving him a bit sad. The next morning, everything is covered in white. Little Mochi, Hitoyoshi's dog, is thrilled and runs out to play. He's excited, even digging holes. Seeing the fun, Hitoyoshi wants to join, making a tiny snowman. He says this area always has snow piles, so he did this a lot as a kid. The maid tries but isn't very skilled. He compliments how it suits her, always wanting to be more rounded, making her happy like a confession. Continuing similarly for the remaining subtitles, but since the input jumps to 229, I'll proceed from there. How exciting! Hitoshi wanted to build a tiny snowman too, saying this area always has snow build-up, so he did it a lot as a kid. Yuki tried but wasn't very skilled, and men complimented how it suited her, as she always aims to be more rounded. She beamed, feeling like a confession, until the mischievous dog ruined her snowman, souring her mood after all that effort. Men noticed Mochi has been extra playful lately, probably from eating and sleeping well, leading to bad habits. Suddenly, his phone rang, and he answered with a somber tone, mentioning he'd tell his mother. With Riko, she worried and didn't know how to help, as men asked the maid to watch the house while he informed his sister about their father's return. That evening, on the way back, Hitoshi spotted Yuki outside in a graceful outfit, drawing attention. He asked why she dressed like that. It's normal, but she hadn't worn it since feeling uncomfortable before. She explained she came out with a warmed scarf for him, as it's cold, making him feel like a wife seeing off her husband to battle, especially on Christmas, heightening the shyness. Without hesitation, Yuki took his hand and invited him on a date. He was shocked, but it turns out she called Riko earlier for advice, who said a date would cheer him up. Grateful to men, she hoped to help him through tough times, even a little. Seeing her adorable face, he agreed, and she loved holding hands, like a couple strolling together. He thought Riko must be happy, as she always ships them, while he pondered the maid's childlike soul despite her age, wondering what a real relationship would be like living together. Yuki wished him a Merry Christmas and asked where he'd like to go, suggesting food in the cold weather. A snow fell with neon lights, creating a romantic scene. He said he loves gazing at sparkling things, just like snow and her name. Earlier, when Yuki called Riko for outfit advice, the sister, knowing her perfect figure, suggested a fitted dress and turtleneck to highlight her assets, as love in winter should be sweet. Overwhelmed, Yuki followed it, eager to surprise men and make him say she's more beautiful than snow. The next day, Riko visited and shared the story, embarrassing Hitoshi. She praised the maid's cuteness and wondered if he could like her. Though unsure, Riko noted their high affection and believed time would reveal it, fully supporting their romance, as living together like this is already loving. Hitoshi curiously asked, leading Riko to use a fortune-telling app to check if someone likes him. It's researched and accurate, she claimed, as her friend succeeded with it. He thought it coincidental but tried. First, has he touched the person? Yes, he often uses her lap to sleep. Next, does he get compliments? Yes, they talk a lot and she helps in tough times. They lock eyes and laugh naturally. Has she said she likes him? Yes. The result? 96% they're in love. He was shocked, Riko ecstatic, as wedding bells neared, though he doubted the 4% risk. Just then, Yuki returned from shopping and joined the game. After their date, Hitoshi felt awkward, but Riko repeated the questions, and Yuki's score was 100%, leaving him embarrassed and her overjoyed. That night, they enjoyed a mushroom hot pot, as Riko taught Yuki to stretch out for the heater's full warmth, calling it convenient in winter. Riko shared how she loves it but didn't have one at her place, thanking Yuki for this, as it never happened before due to her brother's mischief. He used to mess under the table to avoid it, getting teased, so men tried to stop her, but failed as Riko noticed his cool act and kicked back, forgetting Yuki was in the way. After kicking, Hitoshi saw Yuki's face and felt awkward. Riko sensed their love secret and apologized for intruding. In his dream, he wondered what love is, and why it's complicated, recalling his rejected confession to a close friend who thought he just needed company, leading to distance and regret. He questioned if that's love, but seeing Yuki's beauty beside him stirred unknown feelings. Stepping out, she noticed, and he avoided her, blaming end-of-year cleaning. She believed him and got excited, while he resolved not to fall for her, fearing it would ruin their bond, especially after past rejections. Outside, Yuki cleaned with determination to impress men after her last mess. Mochi watched baffled, as she aimed to succeed this time. When he checked, it was ruined again by the dog, so he didn't blame her, knowing it was Mochi, and suggested she change, but she stripped her wet clothes, revealing her curves, mesmerizing him. He saw her as grown but childlike, innocent and loving like family, which comforted him, yet his desire to love her risked everything. After 2 rejections, he dreaded it. Yuki asked if he was okay, as he's been odd, and he explained, realizing she might offer her lap again, which made him nervous, so he refused, calling it improper for a high schooler. Confused, she felt rejected and cried for the first time. As Hitoshi explained, he wasn't criticizing and told her to bathe. He regretted worrying her and causing tears. From then, she'd cry over mistakes, fearing dismissal, and even a falling leaf triggered more, culminating in her sneaking to sleep with him, keeping him awake. The next day, exhausted, he collapsed, and after Yuki cleaned, he was gone, leaving a note not to worry, as he's on a trip. She walked Mochi and shopped, but everything closed early for New Year's, so she went to a supermarket, got lost in its vastness, and bought premium grilled beef, excited to see men preparing the same. They realized they bought duplicates, and she cried again, as he comforted her, saying his is pre-sliced, urging her not to overeat. Seeing her tearful, he felt sad, blaming himself for not doing better, especially with their father returning tomorrow, so he slept, and she covered him. The next day, Riko visited for New Year's, where they usually go to temple, but since Hitoshi was asleep they skipped it. She worried as it's his birthday, but he's easygoing so no gifts needed. Yuki, still upset, cried more, thinking her tears are faulty and might ruin the sacred vibe, so she stayed with him while Riko met friends. Later Naka invited her out, as she's lonely too. With Hitoshi sleeping, Yuki agreed and met at the temple. Naka was thrilled she came and taught her everything, from praying to drawing fortunes, as Yuki knew nothing. They drew lots, and she got a bad one, foretelling lost items can't be found, making her fear separation from men. Naka enjoyed teaching and felt like true friends, but seeing Yuki cry floods, led her aside to talk, amazed at her endless tears. The bad fortune suggested drifting apart, and with Hitoshi acting distant lately, she feared he won't need her anymore, returning to solitude away from him, which saddened her deeply, tears flowing non-stop. And so she cried her heart out completely. It was the first time he saw her like that. The folks around had no idea why tears were streaming from her eyes. It was so heartbreaking. Hitoyoshi had to explain he wasn't criticizing her at all, and even called the maid sister to bathe and warm up. The young man silently blamed his own poor actions. He had made her worry, and now she's crying too. After that, every time Juki messed up, tears flowed like a river, fearing that he might kick her out would be the end. That whole day the maid girl shed tears everywhere, even though she tried hard not to sadden anyone. Seeing the yellow leaf fall made tears flow endlessly. The peak was that night when she sneaked over to sleep together because she couldn't sleep at all. The result left Hitoyoshi reciting prayers all night since he couldn't sleep either. Finally, on the last day of the year, he collapsed on the chair. After Juki finished cleaning and came out, he was nowhere to be seen. He left a note. "Don't worry, I'm going on a trip to ease your mind, sis. I'll take a stroll and buy some food too." But today being the last day, all shops closed early for family time. So Juki headed to the supermarket to pick up something, but it was so vast she didn't know where to start. Spotting a meat section with tempting cuts, she went to ask for premium grilled beef. Once she bought the meat and returned, she was quite happy. Inside she saw Hitoyoshi preparing food, and they realized they had bought the same things. The result? The maid sister cried like a fountain again. Hitoyoshi had to comfort her, saying it's not that similar since his was already sliced perfectly. He reminded his dear sister to eat only what she can, not to force it. Seeing the one he cares for cry so much, the young man felt deeply sad, blaming himself he could have done better, especially with tomorrow when the old man returns. Due to exhaustion, he just sprawled out on the chair to sleep, and the maid sister covered him with a blanket. The next day, the adorable little sister Riko came to visit the two. On the first day of the new year, families usually go to the temple for blessings, but since he was still sleeping, they skipped it. Even though she tried calling, Hitoyoshi showed no sign of waking, probably too tired, so they let it go and skipped the temple visit. Little Riko was a bit worried because the 1st of January is Hitoyoshi's birthday, so the family gathers to go to the temple. Luckily he's easygoing and doesn't demand gifts, so Riko thought it would be fine. But Juki was different. She's been tormenting herself lately and cried buckets again, surprising Riko since it's the first time seeing her like this. The maid sister thought her tear ducts had a problem, making tears flow too easily, fearing she'd ruin the sacred atmosphere. So Juki asked to stay home with Hitoyoshi. In reality, Riko had plans with friends, so it was okay, rescheduling with her sister for the next day. Soon after, she got a message from Naka inviting her out, since Naka felt lonely with Hitoyoshi still asleep. So the sister agreed to help and met at the temple for the ceremony in cute outfits. Naka was thrilled her friend came. Honestly, Juki knew nothing about New Year's temple visits and wanted her friend to teach her everything. Naka knew even praying was new to the maid girl, so she eagerly guided her. It's the most important part of seeking blessings at the New Year's temple. After that, they drew a fortune slip to see the year's fates, mostly symbolic. But when Juki drew one, unluckily it was a bad omen. Naka thought teaching someone something new was such a joy, like true friends, but seeing her friend cry rivers, she led her to a quiet corner to talk. How does Juki have so many tears? It's like non-stop rain. About the bad fortune she drew, it hinted that lost items won't be found, suggesting she and her master might drift apart. Naka tried to encourage her, saying things like that never really happen. The maid girl's fears were valid though, because lately Hitoyoshi seemed distant, like they were growing apart. She worried that one day he might not need her anymore, and she'd return to a lonely life away from her master. Just thinking about it brought endless sadness, and the tears kept flowing without stop. Though unsaid, if Hitoyoshi ever rejected her, she wouldn't know what to do. Naka had never faced this before, so she wasn't sure how to advise. She shared her own story of crying endlessly after losing her respected mother. It felt like everything was falling apart. But remembering her mother's words helped Naka grow stronger. People say tears ease pain, and her mother taught that they're the sadness inside us. So the more you cry, the more it means the bottled-up sorrow is being released. In the end, it's a good thing because after crying, your heart feels lighter. For Naka, crying isn't bad at all, so she advised her friend to cry out all the sadness until she feels bright again, just like she did. Once calm, they'll pray to the spirits to lessen the burden from that fortune. And so, they went inside where the little friend guided the maid sister on how to pray properly. Juki wished for Hito, Yoshi, Riko and Naka to be happy, and for herself to stay by their side forever. Switching scenes back home, Hito Yoshi was still sound asleep, completely forgetting about his father's return. After calling endlessly with no answer, the old man decided to head back himself.